This is going to be a chessboard geometry tip, and it's the only time I'm probably ever going to do a lesson where the only pieces on the board are the kings, because we're not going to really be using them. If you think back to your school days, and you had just been introduced to the idea of the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, or maybe you've heard the term like as the crow flies, the shortest distance, right? And that's great if you're a crow, not so great if you're a car where you have to follow roads. Well, how do we apply this to the chessboard? If we take 2 points, say we take this one and let's take that one, right? So if we were to measure how many moves does it take to get between point A and point B? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is indeed the shortest way to get from point A to point B on the chessboard. But what's not so intuitive for most of us, unless we've explicitly thought about it, is that it's not the only way to get from point A to point B in the exact same number of moves. And this looks a little strange, but like you can actually take visually what looks like a longer route and you still end up in the same spot. And so you may be asking yourself, well, okay, but what's the value of this? And if you think back to some of my other videos I've done on endgame studies, there are many occasions where the king is trying to get somewhere, but has to take a circuitous, like an arced path to get there. But if you keep these principles in mind, you can determine from where you're starting to where you're going should take X number of moves, and being aware about the geometry of the board like this allows you to consider alternate routes that will get you there in the exact same number of moves. So the only other thing that's worth thinking about with respect to this geometry lesson is if we look at, say, let's take this point and this point. The shortest distance between these 2 points is 1, 2, 3. Now, what's different about this example is we are looking at a line along the diagonals. And in this case, this is not only the shortest route between these 2 points, it's the only one that can be accomplished in 1, 2, 3 moves. So keep these geometric ideas in mind when you are calculating for the endgame, and you'll surprise yourself when you think about the different ways you can get your king from point A to point B. Hope this helps.